Okie dokie. The stream is live. Let me test the audio here, make sure there's no issues. Okay, go to watch page. Is it working? Yes, it is working. Awesome sauce. Hope you guys are doing well. I have some pretty wild hair, obviously, so bit of a wild hair live stream here. I have to kind of hurry up a little bit and open something on my computer. I have to write a test, or do a test rather, in my linguistics class. It is an online test. So I'm just gonna open this up as I talk. We don't have class today, so instead we're just doing this, this online quiz. So how do we access this? My professor says that the quiz will be, okay, I see, it's on our D2L site. Let's go to my D2L. So D2L basically is like our online, like an online system that we use for our classes. So grades get posted there, homework gets posted there, class notes, all that stuff. So let's go to course home. Excuse me. Let's go to assessments. Let's go to quizzes. Ready? There's no quizzes here. Dropbox? No. Grades? No. Self-assessments? No. Hey, there's no quiz here. It's 11:05, so it should have been posted by now, but it's not here. Huh. How bizarre. I don't see any quizzes. Let me email her to be like, hey, trying to do the quiz. Hi, let's just send her a message here. Send her an email. 老师. Should send her some screenshots as well so she can see, so she believes me. Let's go to quizzes. Okay, so let's take a screenshot of my page. Let's send this off to her. I am looking on D2L right now, and I am not seeing any quizzes. I have attached some screenshots for you so that you can see what I mean. I have checked in the quiz section of the website, along with, what else did I check? I checked in, let's check again in self-assessments. Okay. Self-assessments. And anywhere else that could be? Surveys? Oopsies. That's nothing in surveys. This is weird. There's supposed to be an online test. Like, surveys. Where else could it even be? Blog, calendar, class progress, system check, checklist? Nothing in checklist. Communication, discussion, chat, emails, groups, calendar, discussions. Oopsies. Oh, hold up. Let's go back. I think I saw something. Nope, nothing there. Grades, content. Maybe it's in content. Let's look in content. Let me see if I'm being an idiot and just not seeing this. Sometimes I just don't see stuff. So let me just check. Nope, this is just course notes. Course home? No. And surveys. I'll keep looking through D2L to see if maybe there is a glitch and it shows up. And the quiz shows up. Okay, let's attach some screenshots here. You can see what I'm talking about. And let's send her the email. Yeah, I don't know why there's nothing showing up. Oh, my teacher's got an auto reply. She'll be away. Oh, my teacher's away. Oh, well, that sucks. Okay. She'll not be Oh, she's away until next week and will be checking her email infrequently. Okay, lovely. Well, okay, well, I'm gonna keep what I'll do. Let's make this live stream a little bit useful. Let's do some language learning stuff here. I have a list of questions that people have asked me about languages. Let's actually answer some of these questions that people have asked me. I have a big list on my phone. Let's see here. I think I have a list on my phone. Wait, let me just hang on. Let me see if I can find this quiz one more time. Then I'll answer some questions. Assessments. Do I know anybody in my class? Do I have anyone's number? Oh, I have Gavin's number. I can call Gavin. So, quizzes. Okay, let me give him a shout. Let me call him. Let's give him a call. I hope, let me check something here. Was it an online test or was it an in-person test? No, she said it's online. I'm looking at the email. It's open book, online test. Where's your number, buddy? Didn't I text? Don't I have his number? Gavin, where are you, buddy? Let me give you a call. Let me call him. Let's call the one person's number I have. Ringing, ringing. Still ringing. Didn't answer. Let me text him. Man, what is going on with this? Hey, Gavin. Are you able to access the quiz for our class? I am not seeing anything in D2L. Okay, let's see if, I don't know what's going on, so keep refreshing this page. I'm not seeing anything. Assessments. Let's go to grade, the self-assessments. I wonder if she forgot to put it on or what it is. I'm not sure. I really don't know. All right, well, what I'll do is let's answer some questions. Let's do some stuff here for you guys. Hello, Tumwa. This is my first time watching your streams. I've heard about your live streams on your podcasts. I have one question for you. Go ahead, ask your questions. Ask your questions. Yes, I have been. By the way, YouTube people, podcast, go check it out. In the description below, my podcast is definitely some of my best content. It's definitely some of the best stuff that I do. I'll wait for Tuomo's question. While his question comes through, let me open up questions that people have sent to me. Oops. Okay, screenshots. They're in my screenshots because they are messages. Where are those? Oh, did I delete them? I hope I didn't delete them. I could have sworn I didn't delete them. I remember just seeing them the other day. I might have deleted them. You're kidding me. I had this whole list of questions that I'm not seeing in my phone. Shoot, I must have deleted them. Well, damn it. Oh, here they are. I found them. Good, found them. Okay. By the way, Tuomo, ask your question. I'm not seeing it. Type your question. I will answer it. Okay. So, question number one. So, I put a question on Instagram, okay? I need to make some videos around this. Question number one. What do you struggle with the most when learning a new language? So that was what I asked the audience. And here were some of the responses of things people struggled with. Consistency. 1 week they'll study every day, and the next they'll study one day, etc. Here's some advice. Number one, you got to figure out why you're inconsistent. What's going on? Are you disorganized? Are you worried about failure so you don't study? Are you not studying in an interesting way? You got to figure out what the problem is, figure out why you're not being consistent, and attack that problem. So that's the biggest thing you can do is figure out where is that inconsistency starting. Question 2, or rather response 2, what do you struggle with the most when learning new language? We have another response, which was appropriate choice of vocabulary that fits the given context. Dictionaries cannot be trusted. I agree, dictionaries are not to be trusted. Here's my system to solve this. 1, look in a dictionary. Once you found the word in the dictionary, number 2, Google that word, okay? Google that word and see what the suggested search results are. You know, when you go to Google, I'm going to show you. So for example, let's do this live. Let me show you how to fix, let me show you once and for all. Let's clear this up so no one can ever be confused as to how to solve this problem. Okay, let me just open my screen. I'll share it with you. Make sure there's nothing private on my screen. I don't think so. Let me just close this. I don't want people to see my email. Let's close my email. Let's close this. Okay, so let me show you how this works. Go to a share screen. Here's how you can never, if you're ever looking for words and you're struggling to figure out, well, how do you say something in a language? Here's what you do. So share screen. Okay, so let's say you are struggling with the words, with, let's say there's a Spanish word, okay? A Spanish word like, let's find one like, I don't know, what's a good Spanish word? You're like, okay, you're like, wow, man, how do I say create, okay? Create in Spanish or in English, okay? So you speak, so first you're gonna go to dictionary. I personally like Lingui, L-I-N-G-U-E-E. Another dictionary I like is word reference, okay? So that creates Spanish. And you're like, man, how do I say create or crear in English? So we're gonna search it up. Crear, here we go. Now, word reference will give you lots of different examples. So crear, producir algo a partir de nada, right? So if you're a Spanish speaker, you'll read that, you're like, yes, that's the one I want. English, create. It gives you some examples. And it also gives you the verb in different contexts. So can be create, produce, right? It gives you additional translation. So create can be fundar, so found or set up. It gives you example sentences, gives you compound forms in word reference. So to create confusion, crear confusión, create confusion, create jobs, lots of examples, lots and lots and lots. And here's the cool thing. At the bottom, there's these forum posts. So people have posted, like, let's click one. Someone wants to know, a crear un niño. So we click that one. This is someone who asked, hay un dicho que significa to have a child en el contexto de dar a luz. Right? So now they're asking a very specific question about the word. So even as word reference and using these forums and using examples, you can learn a lot. Let's say you don't trust word reference. You're like, okay, I think I've got it. Go to Lingui. Let's search it here. Crear. Lingui does the same thing. Gives you create, gives you build, gives you make, gives you establish, gives you generate, form, fashion, and gives you like example sentences with it. It also gives you less common translations. And then down here at the bottom, it gives you actual websites. This one's from crystalonline.com. Somos la única página web en el mundo que ofrece la posibilidad de crear su propia lima. Okay? And here, it gives you the English translation. So you could start to see how people use it in context. So these two, so checking multiple dictionaries like this is a great way to figure out with context how to use things. I don't like Google Translate. People like Google Translate. I don't like it. Do not use Google Translate. If you are still doubting, you've checked this dictionary, you've checked word reference, and you're still doubting it, go to Google, okay? And we're gonna go to Google Images. So we're gonna search crear, or even here, crear, and then we have, let's hit a space. Here we have lots of different, excuse me, create, it's the English word, create. Now we have lots of different suggested searches, Gmail, Apple ID, synonym, Gmail account, email, Kahoot. And you're like, create email. Okay, let's search that. Okay, now you see English websites, steps to create email account. Now you can start to see real native speakers using this in real sentences. And you're like, oh, I see how to use this. This is definitely, now I see create, how to do it, how to use this word. You can also, watch this, let's just search create. Go to images, right? there's lots of cool images that help you understand what create means, right? Even to something like, we just scroll through this, right? Like if we just go to like, let's see here. What's an interesting picture? Like we can look at the, like, look at this one, right? 9 ways to create time, space, and I don't know what this says, but Google Images is a really good tool as well. So to summarize, step 1, search a word in word reference and Lingui, assuming it has the language that you're learning. Look at it, look at the example sentences, see if you understand. Okay, is this actually sharing? Yes, it's sharing, good. Step 2, go to Google, go to all results, see what the suggested searches are, pick one that you think could be useful for you, okay? Step 3, go to images and see what kind of images there are, right? And that'll often help you figure out what the word means and how to use it. So hope that answers that question. So that's how you figure, that's the much better way to do dictionaries. Yeah, a much better way, way better. Okay, let me just check here, make sure that my quiz hasn't magically showed up. Let me go here and double check. Let's go to the quiz. Quizzes, is my quiz showed up online? No, my quiz has not showed up online. Still not here. I don't know why that is, but okay, fair enough. Okay, next question. Let me look in the chat. Tumo asks, when are you going to learn Arabic and Russian? Which one will you learn first? So I will learn Arabic and Russian. My assumption right now is I will do that probably, it'll be after I feel very comfortable with Mandarin and after I feel very comfortable with Gujarati and probably after I feel comfortable with Hindi. So I have 3 languages on the list before I even touch Arabic, Russian. Which one I learn first is going to depend on a couple of factors. First and foremost, what countries I can travel to safely. I like to travel when I'm learning languages. So where can I go safely? Where am I most likely to be able to visit? It will also depend on what resources happen to land in my plate. So for example, if I suddenly, my school, my university offers like a degree in Arabic or something, I might be like, oh wow, that's a good environment to be learning in. Let's go figure that out. Or maybe like, I don't know, I hear of some really awesome book or program online, or I meet a friend who speaks Arabic and we get along really well. That might influence my decision, but I'm not sure yet which one. Renata says, hey, Azren, I'm going to check out your podcast. Yes, my podcast, I don't know why, more like legitimately, like the people who follow my YouTube, podcast is where it's at. Like YouTube is fine, YouTube is good, but podcast is where the real good stuff is right now. My real good stuff used to be more on YouTube. Now my YouTube has just become a window into my life and just like live streams and such, but podcast is where the good language learning stuff is at. Renata asks, do you think of writing a book in the future? Maybe. Not anytime soon, but I might. Traveling to other countries as you love? Yeah, traveling, I travel a lot. I do. Every year I travel. Renata also says, I don't trust Google Translate, but I use it to translate words, not full sentences and texts. Interesting. Let's answer some more questions. What do you struggle with the most? Oh yeah, this is the same thing. So same question. I asked this to my audience. I asked, what do you struggle with the most when learning a new language? Someone says, depends on where I am and who I'm with. Sometimes finding native speakers is challenging. Finding native speakers is, generally speaking, for many languages, most of major languages, is not challenging. Let me show you. Here's how to find native speakers. Ready? Watch this. Let's do a screen share. Man, I want to like make the stream to like eliminate excuses. Like literally, there's a lot of stuff that just has these excuses around. I need to even like rename this live stream actually. Let's actually rename this right now. Let's change the name. Okay, edit video. We're going to rename it. Eliminating common language learning obstacles. We're going to rename this obstacle. Okay. Okay. In this stream, I answer a lot of questions that people sent me about their most common language learning obstacles. I show you live how to solve them. After that, I'm being interviewed. Okay, there we go. Save. Save that. Go back to the watch page. Okay. So, let me show you. Here's how to find native speakers. Ready for this? Let's go. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, screen is being shared. You should be able to see my screen. Alrighty, let's close this, close this, close this. Okay, go to Google. So you are learning a language. Here's some ways to eliminate, to find native speakers. I'm gonna give you two different strategies, or a few different strategies. Number one, oopsies, italki. Okay, so everyone go to, this is the website. I'll show you 3 strategies to find native speakers. italki.com, okay? So here it is, italki. I'll even zoom in so you can see. There we go, italki.com. Can you guys see the screen? Let's make sure you can. Yes, you can. Let's make sure here. Yes, okay. Go to italki.com. The most common things people think is that this is a paid website, which is partially true, but it is also a free website. Okay, what is my password for this site? I don't even know. I haven't signed in a while. I think it's that. Password, is it? I think that's my password. No, that's not my password. My password, right? Oh, it is good. Okay. So italki.com. We're gonna go to community. We're gonna click on language partners. Okay. Here we're gonna search. Let's zoom in a bit. We're gonna search the language you're learning. There's lots of languages. Look at this. Look at this. Even some like less common ones like Twi or like Amharic is not as common. Like there's lots. Look at all these languages. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I don't even know what some of these languages are. Like what is bats? I thought bats was an animal. Let's search bats. Does anyone speak bats? Let's see. I don't even know. So one dude speaks bats. I don't know what language that is, but anyway. Now, so let's search the language. Let's pick one that's not as common. Let's pick like even Arabic, different dialects. What's Alsatian? I don't even know what that language is. Browse. Oh, here we go. There's a language called Alsatian. Now, we have to look. Let's see who we can find that speaks it. Do we have anyone that speaks it? You know, it's funny. This guy does. Here we go. This guy speaks it. So let's say I wanted to know Alsatian, okay? This person, you see these 4 lines or 5 lines? It says native. If they're all 5 green, they're a native speaker. So this guy speaks it. Let's open his profile. This person speaks it. I don't even know what language this is. I've never heard of it. This guy speaks it. All these people speak it. We're going to open them in different tabs. Now, we're going to send them a message. Be like, what's his name? Halal. You're going to say, hey, Halal, my name is Azren. I've been learning, I'll say, however it's spelled, blah, 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 for a year. I am looking for native speakers to practice with and was wondering if you could help with that. I saw that you are learning whatever language. What's he learning? He's learning Arabic. So maybe you speak Arabic. You can say, you know, I saw that you're learning Arabic. It's not loading for some reason. But anyway, you could type, I saw that you're learning Arabic. I could help you practice with that. There you go. So there's lots of people. And you message 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, message different people. If you have a little bit of money, you can do a different thing and find native speakers as well. So you could go to find a teacher. And same thing, you're going to pick a language that you want to learn. So in my case, I might pick something like Mandarin, okay? I can pick their hourly wage, like how much I want to pay. Maybe I don't have a lot of money. I can only pay maybe up to like, I don't know, maybe I can only pay, oopsies, that didn't work. Maybe I can only pay between $4 and $10 an hour, or 4 and 12, there we go, or 4 and 9, there we go. And looks like there's no Mandarin teachers that, oh no, here you go, 359 teachers teach for between $4 and $9 an hour. So this This lady teaches from $9. She even has a $3 trial lesson per hour. Like, look at this. So look at all these people. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. They have their calendars available on the sides. You can book lessons, right? This is a great way to find native speakers. Let me check the chat here. Okay, let me show you another strategy. This is great. italki.com is a fantastic tool. Let me show you another one. Go to YouTube. Excuse me. Let's say let's say you've looked on iTalk, you can't find people, but you want to find a native, let's say Gujarati speaker. Okay, native Gujarati speaker. Now, let me show you something actually. Here's a fun fact about Gujarati. Some languages on iTalk, you can't find them. Like if I go to community, or even like, let's say find a teacher, and I search, let's say I want to take Gujarati lessons, okay? So Gujarati lesson, Gujarati. Why is it not showing up? Let's search it. I don't know why it's not working. Wait, what? Let's clear this. Language to learn. I don't know why it's not working. Here we go. MLIHIJKH. Here we go. Guarani. Oh, they don't even have Gujarati anymore. Oh wow, so they don't even have Gujarati. Check that out. They don't offer Gujarati. They used to have a dude who did, but he's not there anymore, clearly. So they're like, oh crap, my language isn't there. You go to community, you can't find it. Okay, go to YouTube. We're gonna search. Let's search Gujarat. Gujarat is even Gujarati movie. Okay, we're gonna search. We want to find a video that is meant for native Gujarati speakers, not for learners. We want to find something. So let's say you're learning Gujarati, Gujarati movie, Gujarati comedy. Find something that is clearly meant for Gujarati speakers. Here we have different things meant for Gujarati. So let's click on this one. Okay, let's pause it so we don't get any copyright strikes. Okay, we're gonna go to the comments. We have 12 comments down here, okay? Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna reply to some of these people. Let's say this guy, right? He answered 2 days ago. This is a recent comment. We're gonna say, hi, Kishan, my name. Or like, I know this is a little random, but I am looking to find people to practice Gujarati with, right? I was wondering if you would be open to chatting on Skype occasionally and helping me practice. I understand this is a strange request, but I hope you can help. I am happy to help you practice blah 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 language. Or you can even say, I also am able to play guitar and could teach you that in exchange. Like, it's weird, but like, you want to offer them something. Like, you can't just ask them for help. Like, offer them something in return, or pay them like money, right? Money, or like offer them something, right? Offer them money, offer them payment, offer something to help them. There's an infinite amount of native speakers you can reach this way. A better hack is if you find a video that you've actually watched. So like, for example, I'm watching right now. It's like I'm watching this, wait, is this one? Yeah, oh, here, yeah, this is the movie I'm watching. I'm watching this one, right? Let's pause it. I'm watching this movie right now. Like after, oh wow, a lot of comments on this one too. Look at that, 45. So I'm watching this. I might even finish watching it and then see a comment and comment on it. Like even this guy, like, Denali Rama Hiro, right? Hiro, right? Like, let's find a deeper comment here. Here we go. I've heard about this movie and it's very nice, but unfortunately, oh, never mind. Here we go. Very nice message to this movie. Law of karma is real. I might even add to this comment and make friends with him before. I might not even ever ask them. Here's a good idea. Don't even ask them to help you. Just make friends with them. Be like, I agree. That is so true. I remember a time in the past when I felt the effects of karma. Blah, blah, blah. Keep typing, right? If you write something insightful, he's in a comment. This guy's probably Gujarati if he's watching this movie, right? You make friends with him. Then later you're like, hey, by the way, you speak Gujarati? I'm learning it. Could I reply to you? Could I speak with you in Gujarati a little bit? Heck, you could even reply in Gujarati, turn on your Gujarati keyboard and be like, and type in Gujarati, like answer in Gujarati, like answer them, right? So that is a second way to find native speakers. I'll show you one more way. I know I've spent a lot of time on this, but I want there to be no excuse. HelloTalk. HelloTalk is an application, not a website. This is another application you can use to find native speakers. So basically, you can chat with native speakers on the world. And literally, the purpose of the app is to connect you with native speakers to help you practice. And it's free, right? So here's a HelloTalk. Okay, I think we've answered this question. There's a lot more we can talk about, but I think I've done a good enough job. I've given you enough resources for this. I've definitely, oh, this is not working. Stop, there we go. Stop, there. Okay, there's a bunch of resources. Hopefully that's clear that no one can ever now complain about, I can't find native speakers. I'll give you one more resource. I won't actually, forget, I'll show you. Why the hell not? I'll show it to you. I'll show you the resource. One last resource. This one won't work for all of you. Share screen. One more resource. This is a real life resource. This is not an online resource. Okay, go to meetup.com. Okay, spelled like this, meetup.com. Okay, let's sign out so you can see what it looks like when you're signed out. This is what, oh, hang on. It's an app as well. Okay, I think this is the home page. Oh, here we go. Here's the home page, right? We're going to go to explore by category. In your city, there are lots of different clubs that exist. So let's say, pick a category you like. Let's say you like music, or even like, we could even do language and culture. Let's do language and culture. And let's do, I don't know, what do I like? I don't know, I like sci-fi and games. Why not? There we go. Okay. Language and culture. Now you can search through and find different groups of people that meet up for events for you to practice. So here's the Spanish and language culture group. I actually run this group. English as a second language meetup group. So if you're learning English, you can go here. We have French. We have French again. We have German. We have Japanese. We have Chinese, which is my group. We have Korean, we have Russian, we have Italian, we have Portuguese. So let's say we're learning, let's pick a language here. Let's go to my group. Let's say we're learning Spanish. Okay, we're gonna click Spanish. This is my group. I run this group. Let's go to Spanish. It's loading. Here we go. We're in the Spanish group. Here, let's go to meetups. We have various different events taking place. So here, Saturday, October 27th, casual Spanish hangout, right? So there's people can click to attend. You have to sign up for the website. Oh, and there's a wait list. Oh my God, 15 people on the wait list. I need to up the attendance limit for this event, right? You can attend the event, right? You can come, right? So this is a good tool as well. You can find people in your city to practice with. You won't always find native speakers, but you can definitely find opportunities. Similarly, if you live in a country that speaks a language you're learning, pick a group that you like. Maybe you like board games. Click on the board gaming events group and start attending their events, right? This one is the Calgary Strategy and Wargaming group at the Century Box. Attend this one, right? Click attend. Go to this event, right? And you'll get lots of real English practice in a non-learning environment, in like a real life kind of environment. So that's yet another strategy that you guys can use. There we go. Okay, I hope I answered that question. I think I did a pretty good job. So many resources. Okay. Oh, I just got a weird message. Who is this? I have a principal's friend who is looking for a French tutor. Can I pass her contact? The daughter is attending. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's a good lead. Awesome. I got a new student lead. Okay, next question. Remembering vocabulary when speaking. Good. So this is the challenge people have. Wait, let me make sure that my quiz hasn't showed up. Make sure my quiz hasn't magically showed up here on my thing. Make sure if it's showed up, then I need to take it right now. Let's go to quizzes. Make sure I don't have to take my test. For people who joined late, there's supposed to be an online test that I'm supposed to take an online test for my class, but it's just not online for some reason. Let's check my email and make sure my professor didn't send it to me. Oh, wow, there's a lot of emails from students saying they can't access the quiz. I contacted IT and the quiz has been set inactive by professor. Therefore, she's the only one that can activate it. Please screenshot my live chat below. I'll email Tyler. Okay. Okay, good. So everyone's struggling with this. Good. Perfect. Good, 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 good. Awesome. So it isn't actually working. Okay, so we had a question here. Remembering vocabulary when speaking. Good question. So when it comes to remembering vocabulary when speaking, the thing is that when people struggle to remember vocabulary, there's a couple of things that are going on. Let me answer some questions actually here. I've seen some questions in the live chat here. Renata says, I'm dying to try italki, but I heard many people say it's a paid thing. No, it's not fully paid. It's the biggest myth of italki. There is a paid section, but there's free stuff too. There's both. The biggest myth about italki. I'm interested to follow your progress in the languages that you are studying. What do you think about Bengali? I don't really know much about Bengali. I don't really know a ton about it, but I don't know. Seems cool to me. Rasmus, hello. Good to see you. There are tons of resources. We get lost. Well, pick one. That's another big thing. It's not a question that's been submitted, but let me show this to you. Let me show this to you. I just posted this on my Facebook. Let me show this. Let me show you guys something. You guys will appreciate this. That's so relevant to what Renata just said. Another common issue. Another common issue. Wait, hang on here. Let me show you guys something. This is such a common problem. Such a common problem, and this is a good way to answer this problem. Okay, let's scroll down. Scroll down. Okay, I posted this last night. There we go. Okay. Wow, I'm shocked there's no likes on this post that I posted. Wow, I'm baffled. Like, it's such a great post. All right, well, it's not a problem, I guess, whatever. Okay, let me show this to you. Check this out. So let's share my screen again. Okay, check this out. So this is my Facebook page, okay? Azren the Language Nerd, facebook.com/polyglot_Azren. And a follower sent me an email. Let's zoom in so you can read, okay? And I kind of paraphrased this email, but they said, or rather, I deleted some of the personal information she shared just for her sake, but I'm now seriously interested in learning French and have already found so much information on the web that it is overwhelming me and doesn't let me decide where to start off. That's why I would really much appreciate your kind advice. It'll be very significant for me. Thank you for your help, okay? So this whole thing of too much information is very common. So in terms of how to start, the funny thing is it doesn't actually matter. We don't need to see the rest of it. I can show it to you. It doesn't really matter where you start. Where you start is not super duper. Why can't I? It's not super duper important. Like you just have to start. Like literally you have to start. When there's a lot of resources, I know it's overwhelming, but literally you just have to pick one that feels like literally pick one. If you don't even know, like I'm going to do this, pick something, do. If you're like starting a brand new language, right? You can follow something like this. Like this is one option of many. Week 1, learn the alphabet and the sounds of the language. Week 2, learn greetings and basic phrases. Week 3, learn the pronouns. Week 4, learn the types of, well, this is a French specific thing, so week 4 might be different, but I think the first 3 weeks can really apply to any language, right? Do at least 5 to 10 hours of study per week, if you can fit that in. In order to learn the following topics, search them on YouTube. For example, during week 1, search sounds in French. Watch as many videos as it takes for you to learn them. During week 2, search French greetings, French basic phrases on YouTube, etc. So anyway, so this whole thing of like so many resources, like it's so easily solved. Like, it's so easily solved. Just pick something. So anyway, so this person asked, remembering vocabulary when speaking, what is an option for it? Well, if you're struggling to remember vocabulary when speaking, there's a few, sorry, I'm just stretching here. All right. there's a few things that are going on. A few things here. By the way, I'm going to ask for a favor before I answer this. I want people to share this stream. Like, I think there's some good stuff happening today. This is a very useful live stream. Some of the live streams I've done in the past are not necessarily very informative. This is a very informative one. So I would highly recommend it. I would highly appreciate if the 7 of you watching, or even a couple of you, could just share this on your Facebooks, on your VK pages, on your Instagrams, on your whatever you use. Just share this. I'd really appreciate it. Like, you screenshot it here. Screenshot me, like, do something. Anyway, now let's answer this. When you're struggling to remember vocabulary, when you're speaking, there's a couple things going on. Number one, what's going on is you probably don't have the words. So there's a couple things. Number one, you don't have the words deeply ingrained in your brain. So let me show this. Let me show you something. Let me share my screen again. Okay. The screen share is good today. It's really helping us out. Okay. Do a screen share. Okay, let's close my email. Let's close the quiz list. Okay. So let's go here. Let's go to Google. Let's say you learned, let's use that word create. Earlier in the live stream, we were using the word create. Okay, let's say you searched it in Spanish. You went to Lingui. You learn the word for create. So you search crear. You're like, oh, create, cool. The word I want in English is create. Okay, I learned a word. Here's the thing. Most people, or a lot of people, learn the word create and they move on. They're like, oh, create, awesome. No, that's not enough. Here's what you got to do. Let me open up a thing here. Okay, let's open up a Word document. Here's what I recommend. You learn the word create. Okay, let's zoom in. First, I'd be like, oh, create equals crear. Or, excuse me. Yes, create equals crear. Now you're like, awesome, I know the word. Next, you should write some practice sentences with it. And think about how you might use this word in real life. If you need inspiration, go back to the dictionary. Look at the sentences they used, right? Oh, I create a new account on the website. You can partition your hard drive to create a backup. Okay, cool. We built this. You can start to look at the examples. If you need more examples, go to Google, as I showed before, type create, and you're gonna have lots of other examples here, right? Or even, let's just say create. Let's say you don't like these examples, hit create A, see what options pop up. Create B, see what options pop up. Create C, see what options pop up. Create D, see what options pop up. Create E, go down the alphabet, right? H, I, J, K. You'll get lots of examples, okay? Just to help you figure out like how you might use it. So let's go back here. I created a new email account yesterday. Or even better, yesterday should be better would be yesterday. I created a new email account. Let's make another sentence. Let's make 3. God created man. Right? I don't know. Or like a third one, creating, I don't know, like creative people create lots of cool things. I don't know, sentences that you would actually potentially use. Now, next, what I would do is, so you have this, you've now done example sentences. Now, you need to actually practice using this. Let's stop my screen share. There we go. Now, you need to use some of the resources we talked about before. Use the resources like italki, use the resources like HelloTalk, use the resources like Meetup, and you have to get into conversations with people where you actually use these words that you've learned. So you have practice finding those words on the fly. So one thing I'll do, man, the screen share thing's gonna be really good. I'm gonna share my screen again. One thing I like to do, I do this for myself. I wish I had one that I've done recently, but I don't have one. Share screen. Okay, you see my screen. One thing I will do, let's go back to my Word document. Okay, Word document. Let's say I'm talking with someone on HelloTalk. Okay, I'm gonna have a goal list. List of goals while talking today on HelloTalk. or italki, or etc. A list of goals. Not a very long list. And they're going to be 1. Use the word create at least 2 times in the conversation. 2. Let's say you learn the word, I don't know, like build, right? So I might say use the word build at least 2 times in the conversation, right? Maybe we could even change this up. Maybe it's not vocabulary you're struggling with. Maybe you're struggling with accent. You have bad pronunciation habits, right? So instead of using vocabulary stuff, let's set different goals. Often Spanish-speaking people, for example, do not pronounce S's as Z's. So in a word like is, they would pronounce is instead of is, right? Because is should be pronounced IZ. They'll say something more like is, like they'll say this is my snake, for example, right? But what they should be saying is this is my snake, right? What they would say is when I say the word is, I must pronounce the S as a Z at least three times in the conversation. This is helping you to get used to using new words. So this is something you can do. First, you got to learn it, write some practice sentences. You can even, a lot of people, I'll show you another resource here that you can use. If you like, actually, I would recommend this. So let's make a list of things here. So step 1, write the word and its translation in your language. 2, write practice sentences. Practice, let's say write 3 to 4 practice sentences with, with the new word. Step 3, use an app called Anki and make a flashcard with that word. Okay, I'll show you Anki in just a second. In a real conversation with a native, with someone, set goals for how many times you want to use that word. Okay. So Anki, what is Anki? Let me show you. Let me show you Anki. Anki is a great app. I like it. Let me show you some pictures. It's a make your own flashcard app. So let's go to images. Here we go. This is the web. I think this might be an older version, but so you make your own flashcards. So you add a flashcard on the front. You add the back. So you might make a flashcard like this one. Here we go. Here's a good one. So this one, that's hard. It's kind of blurry, you know. So I have to find a more clear picture. Let's see here. Here we go. So this one, the front of the card says tissue, I guess Chinese, right? The back of the card has the translation, the pronunciation, and any extra notes, right? On the back. The measure word is zhang, for example. Is that zhang? I think it is, yes. You can make your own flashcards. I recommend you put pictures in your Anki deck, so I'll show you what I mean. So you can find someone who's done it. Here we go. This is a good example. This guy put a picture of an elephant on the back of his for whatever reason. So putting pictures is a good idea. And you can also record audios. You can put an audio into it. So use Anki. And Anki, what I'll show you as well, what I like about it, is at the bottom, depending on how difficult a word is, you can pick a different option. So let's say it was like a hard word. You click hard and you'll see the word. Anki will remember and will show you the word much sooner. You'll get to review the word again and much sooner than if the word was easy. So if you clicked hard, you'd say 4 days from now. Easy, it would make you study the word again 9 days from now. So Anki remembers it and kind of structures and organizes your study times and your study sessions. So I use Anki as well. Okay, there we go. Let's check the chat here. Listening is the most challenging skill for me. It often disheartens me when I see days are passing and I'm listening a lot and I still understand very little. Oh yeah, this is another thing I can talk about here. the other thing with both with listening and with finding the words and using them in real life, for both of those, um, for both of those, um, I think one of the things for languages is that it takes time. I'm a big believer of patience, and yeah, I'm a big believer of patience and understanding that it might take you 5 years to get comfortable, or 3 years, or 4 years, or 2 years. It might be a matter of years before you feel strong or comfortable in whatever language. That's just a reality. Even in my if you listen to yesterday's podcast episode, link in the description. If you listen to yesterday's podcast episode, one of the things I talked about was how a lot of language learners feel like 4 years or 3 years or 2 years or 5 years is a long time, versus I feel like it's not a long time. I feel like it's only 4 years. I can do that, right? So please understand and calibrate your brain to understanding that it takes years often to figure things out. So even if you do the flashcards, you write your practice sentences, you practice speaking in real scenarios, it still might take you a lot of time to figure a lot of it out. So okay, for me, speaking, it frustrates me as a wannabe polyglot. Any tips for developing speaking skills? Sure. I think often one of the biggest challenges for speaking is actually one of the biggest challenges that people think is the challenge is a lack of vocabulary, or sorry, back up. Often people think the challenge is lack of practice, that they're not practicing enough, which is partially true. For many people, that is true. You have a lot of the knowledge, but you haven't practiced it. More common, I find, is people are lacking knowledge that makes it difficult for them to express their thoughts. They lack the grammar knowledge. They don't know enough grammar stuff. They don't know, is that closed? It is. They don't know enough vocabulary. They just don't know enough to be able to actually speak at the level that they want to speak. So the biggest thing for speaking, yes, you have to practice, for sure, no doubt about it. But you also have to develop, learn grammar skills, learn grammar, learn vocabulary, learn all the elements that you need, learn the building blocks of being able to speak. Being able to speak at a very high level is basically like saying, I want a house. It's a good example is like upstairs right now. They're literally doing renovations in my house. They're doing renovations. And, they've been here for like 3 months, right? Or 3 months, right? But they had to build slowly. Like first they destroyed a bunch of the house. Like they broke a lot of stuff down, right? They broke a wall, they broke stuff, right? They had to turn even the water is off in the house right now. Like they had to break stuff and whatever. Then they had to slowly build stuff and they had to add this, add that. Like it's one piece at a time. Language is similar. It's like building blocks. You have to know words. You have to know a lot of vocabulary, a lot of grammar, pronunciation. When you put all that together and you start to implement it, eventually one day the speaking starts to come. So, okay, let's keep this going. Where is it here? Here we go. This person says they struggle with alphabet and pronunciation. What advice can I give you for alphabet and pronunciation? I got it. Let me show you one. Dun, 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 dun. Let me show you a strategy for alphabet and pronunciation. Let me show you. Okay, let's do a screen share. Okay, screen is sharing. Here's a tip for alphabet and pronunciation. Okay, I'm gonna go to YouTube. So here's what we want to do. If we're doing alphabet pronunciation, that's what you're finding hard. Let me show you two things actually. I'll show you two different things. Okay. So number one, let's go to YouTube. Let's say you want to learn. Let's say you're learning Arabic. Okay. I don't know, let's see if this works. I don't know if it'll work. I know it works for French. I know it works. I want you to search Arabic phonetic alpha. Search Arabic phonetic alphabet. Okay. So whatever language it is, Arabic, whatever, search that phonetic alphabet. So Arabic phonetic alphabet, Mandarin phonetic alphabet, or whatever it is. Let's choose Mandarin. I don't know if there's anything, but okay. So let's see what there is. Let's see here if we can find one here. This looks promising. Chinese phonetic systems, part A. Now I can't play the video because I'll get a copyright issue, but this is made by the National Taiwan Normal University, the Mandarin Training Center. Phonetics, what this is going to do is it's going to really explain in a detailed way how to pronounce the sounds of whatever language you're learning. So let's do Arabic, for example. Oh, perfect. This is a really good one. Learn the pronunciation of Arabic letters the easy way. So this one is actually showing you, it's tough to see, in the mouth what is happening when you say the sounds of Arabic. So you can see where does the tongue go. And you have a really good visual. The Mandarin one didn't show you in the mouth, but I'm sure she explains what's happening in the mouth. Let's see if there's other ones here. I'm not sure there's other ones. Anyway, but you want to see if you can find a phonetic, like a phonetics video, right? Even like French. I think I found a French one before. This is a good one for French. I've used this one before, right? Or is it this one? No, it's not this one. This one's not bad, I think. Which one was it that I was using before? Anyway, there's a lot. The French consonants and the IPA. You want this IP, like you want this phonetics. It's going to give you a really good understanding of how, oh, here's one right here. French vowels. It shows you in the mouth what to be doing in your mouth to pronounce the different sounds, right? So you see physically where your tongue has to go, what you have to do. Highly recommend it. It's a really good idea. Now, even if you do this, even if you find some really good videos that explain pronunciation, it's not enough because you need feedback. So you're going to learn the sounds. You're going to practice it. You're going to feel comfortable. Now we're going to go to high native. Okay, let's sign in. Google. Let's do this one. Okay, so here, let's say I'm learning English. Okay, we're going to go to ask. Now, we're going to click on how's my pronunciation. Click. Okay, now let's say it's about English. Okay, I'm going to click this. Watch this. Hello, my name is Azren. I am from Canada, and English is my first. Actually, let's do this differently. Wait, let's do Mandarin. Okay, let's say I want to know my Mandarin pronunciation. Mandarin is not my first language. I'd say, here we go. 你好，我是阿思云，我是加拿大人. There we go. There's our answer. Okay, we'll stop. Now we've uploaded this. Let's click play. 你好，我是阿思云，我是加拿大人. There we go. There's our answer. Okay, let's close that. I don't want to actually save it. Now I would click ask. Okay, I'm going to say, how is my pronunciation when I introduce myself? Oops, I spelled that wrong. Pronunciation. Then we click ask. Okay, now what's going to happen? Let's go back. Let's go back again. My question would pop up here. So this person asked, what is the difference between have a girlfriend and date with a girl? Let's find a pronunciation one. Let's see here. Let's find a pronunciation one in English. Here we go. Oh, no, wait. No, this no, not this one. Hang on. Let's find a pronunciation question here. I'm not seeing any. Oh, here we go. Perfect. This one. Okay. So now we would actually listen to this person.
3 free throws.
Okay. And this person wants to know if it sounds natural. Okay. But you could ask, what can I do to improve? So I can vote. And then at the bottom, unfortunately, we can't see the responses, but people can actually, oh, see poll results? Oh, no, not this one. People will actually leave comments to give you feedback to what to do better. They might even pronounce it themselves for you. So I would first use YouTube, search some stuff, learn the sounds, then go here, post your question in high native. It's free, right? There's a free section anyway, and get some feedback on it. That is a good system you can follow. You can also use, alternatively, go back to italki, which we mentioned before. Go back to italki. It's loading. You can just find a teacher, right? So let's say I want to learn Mandarin or whatever language, doesn't really matter. Oh, it's already here. Great. We could find a Mandarin teacher. I can then, when it loads here, I can schedule a lesson with them. a 1 hour lesson or however long, like whatever, pick a lesson and ask them for feedback. So feedback is a big thing for pronunciation and alphabet. Okay, excuse me. Let's go back to the chat here. Hello, DSM. Good to see you here. Guys, click the like button. This is such a good video. We need some likes on this video. And share this. If you've not shared this video, we're doing some good stuff today. This is a good, useful, the most practical piece of content I've done in a long time. So share this. Oh, my grandpa went to play badminton. Good for you, grandpa. Okay, now let's see here. Okay, next question. Ooh, excuse me. How do you work on your listening? Do you care about how comprehensible the audios you listen to are? Good question. Oh, here we go. We got some likes coming on the video. Perfect. How do you improve your listening? Yeah, so oh, hang on. Someone's calling me. Hang on. Who is this? This number looks familiar. Someone's calling me. I don't... Who is this? I'm not going to answer it. It could be a random. It looks like a strange. It looks like a weird number. Let's just let it do its thing. It's ringing for a long time. It's actually still ringing, interestingly. Anyway, so... okay, so improving listening, right. So often I find with listening, improving listening. Let's see here. What can I give you that's useful? So there's a couple challenges. Often with listening, the challenge is that you just don't know enough grammar and vocabulary. Often. So when you hear a word, you don't know what that word means, or you don't know what that expression means. And what's funny is that a lot of people think they're really strong in a language. They think, oh, I'm super fluent. I'm really strong. I of course I'm understanding the words. Well, no, you think you are. You hear the word. For example, I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, oh yeah, contract. I know what a contract is. Like contract, like a contract, a piece of paper. But contract has other meanings. A contract to me, like I contract like a contract worker. You can have a contract something else. So often what happens is people think they know enough words, but the problem is that there's so many idioms and expressions and words they don't know that when they're watching something online, they don't know what they're hearing. In which case you need to use italki, find someone that can help you explain the things you're not understanding so you can develop it. Like my Gujarati is quite strong, actually. I'm actually not terrible at Gujarati. But when I watch a movie, there's so much I don't know. There's so many words and stuff I don't know in Gujarati that I don't understand often if I watch a movie, or I don't understand everything when I watch a movie, things like that. So often the biggest thing is, or one really big thing is to have someone help you, to help build that vocabulary, help build the grammar you don't have, help build the elements that you're missing so that you even have a hope, a shot of understanding. In terms of how comprehensible or not comprehensible a video is, comprehensible obviously is important. There's a lot of stuff you can learn just by the comprehensibleness of it. I do think, however, I will say that, let's say that I think the video should be comprehensible. You should not be watching something that's super duper foreign to you. Like I was reading something recently, that was a story in Gujarati that was so far above my level and was using so much so much new stuff that I've never seen. It was not a very useful thing for me to be using as a learning tool. So yes, the comprehensibleness does matter for sure. I don't know what the percentage is, but it needs to be something that you can enjoy. Like I'm watching a movie, right now in Gujarati that I showed it to you earlier in the stream. This is a difficult one for me. I've watched others that are a little bit easier. This one's a little bit harder for me, but I'm understanding enough to enjoy the movie. Like I understand a high enough percentage to enjoy the movie and understand what's happening and to pick up new words and to pause and write them down and everything. But at the same time, I am also using a teacher who is explaining a lot of the new words to me in the video. So another question, will you ever learn Portuguese? It'd be easy for you because you're fluent in Spanish. Yeah, I mean, I might learn Portuguese, man. The inside of my nose is really itchy. I know it's gross, but I want to like stick my finger and like itch everywhere. But that's really disgusting. Our water's not running in the house, so like that just anyway. So itchy. Ugh. Oh. Anyway. What was I gonna say? Yes, yeah, Portuguese. Yeah, I think there's a chance I will, but not in the near future. Probably later. So, okay. Let me just message someone here. I have an Instagram live stream that I'm doing that I'll put on YouTube here. Let me just message them to say I'm ready early if they want. DM me when you are ready. I can start early if you want. Okay. Do you speak any Swedish, my dude? No, I do not speak Swedish. Okay, let's keep looking through questions here. Someone said again, remembering new vocabulary. We talked a lot about vocabulary. Getting it in my routine, you have to practice, but I will often forget to do so. Okay, I don't know if forgetting is your problem. So this person who said this, I don't know if forgetting is the problem you're facing, or if the problem you're really facing is like, I feel like forgetting is a silly reason. That's a silly, like, I mean, oh, I forgot. I forgot to go to my class. Like, really? Like, if you had a doctor's appointment, do you forget? Like, if you had a class, did you forget? It sounds more like you weren't prioritizing enough. Like, forgetting seems like a silly reason. Like, write it down. Like, set an alarm on your phone. Like I don't know. Like that seems like a silly reason. Like, you can't forget. Like, write it down. Let me give you some resources to not forget. Here we go. You forget to study? Let me give you some resources. Let me be more useful and not so condescending. Okay. If you forget, let me give you some resources. Wait, before I share my screen, let me just open something here. Okay. Hang on here. Make sure there's nothing like personal in here before I share this. Yeah, there is. I can't share my screen on this one, but I can share my screen on, hang on. Okay, here we go. Now I'll share my screen. So here's a few resources to help you not forget. 1, use a Google Calendar. Google Calendar is my favorite. I use it all the time. So here's some pictures of a Google Calendar. Here it says, learn to paint, walk Ella, clothes market, picnic with Laura and Nick, food market, team meeting. Stick it in your calendar, then you don't forget. Okay, here's another strategy to not forget. Oops. Set an alarm on your phone. Set an alarm. Name the alarm. Study language, right? Like study. That will help you remember. Let me see if that person's messaged me on. Hang on, guys. 2 seconds. I just want to check if someone messaged me. No, she's not ready yet. Okay. Right. Set an alarm on your phone. I'll give you another tip. There's 2 very practical tips. 2 very practical ones to not forget. Oopsies. Oh, what happened there? There we go. Stop. Okay. Okay. Hang on. Be back in 3 seconds. Hang on. Give me a second. I am coming back. Hang on. 2 seconds. I'm coming back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so let's keep going here. So, what was I answering? Okay, so we gave some tips to not forget. We talked about pronunciation. This person said they struggle with motivation. So, they don't have the motivation to study a language. So, here's the thing motivation's a hard one. I can, because it's a difficult one because it's such a complicated topic, but often there is a root to the motivation. There's a reason as to why you're struggling with the motivation side. I think as well with motivation, it helps to have an external environment that makes you actually do it. So whether it means that, so I think a good example of me would be with Mandarin. I am majoring in Mandarin at my university. That creates an external environment to quote unquote make me study Mandarin, right? It kind of makes me or forces me, gives me extra. I don't have to worry about the motivation. Like I might get kicked out of school if I don't get good grades. Like there's a real hard line there. I think as well, it helps to have people in your life who are also studying languages and to have them in your inner circle. So it's kind of like, have you guys heard that where like if you have negative friends, then you tend to have a negative mindset and you tend to be more negative because you're influenced by your friends. And if you have positive friends, then vice versa. Like that's a real thing for languages too. If you have people in your circle that are positive kind of people who are helping you to stay focused with languages, like it's going to help you, right? So that's probably all I can say on motivation as of right now. Let me make sure that the Russian person hasn't sent me a message. No, she's not ready yet. Because once she does, I'll have to hop on this live stream. I'll put it on YouTube too as well. Do you think it's possible to make use of interesting content with subtitles and use them for improving listening? Yup, you bet. So let me show you something. I'll share my screen. I've done this and I am doing this with Gujarati. So let me share my screen. Let me show you what I'm doing. So here's a good way to improve listening. This is a good tip. Let's go to YouTube. What's that movie I was watching a few months ago? I was watching I think it was Most Wanted. This one? No, this one. Are there subtitles in this one? Wait, let me see. I think there are. Let me see something. Yes, there were English subtitles. So if I click play, yeah, so here we go. So I was watching this Gujarati movie with English subtitles, right? Oh, here we go. So why are you twisting things? The problem is with the delivery. I don't know what he said in Gujarati, but so yeah, like I will often use the subtitles because I'll read it, and be like, oh, that's the concept of what he's saying in Gujarati, and it'll help me figure out what the words mean. So yeah, for sure, like using subtitles is a really good strategy. What I'd even do is the first time, watch with subtitles, right? Watch the whole thing, go, blah, 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 blah. Watch everything with subtitles, okay? Watch the whole thing. Don't really worry about writing notes. Don't worry about remembering everything. Watch it just for pleasure the first time. Second time, watch it line by line. Use it to learn words. Try and hear the words they're doing. Play, rewind, play, rewind. So play this one, right? And you're like, oh, I didn't catch that. Let me rewind that again. Rewind it. Rewind it 10 seconds. Listen again. Oh, okay, wait, one more time. Rewind again, listen. Oh, I think I got it that time, right? That can be a really good strategy that can work for a lot of you for listening. Okay. Alrighty. I need to plug my laptop in. It's starting to get low on battery. You're on 24%. Is my charger down here? I don't know if it's down here, if it's upstairs. I think it's upstairs. Dun, 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 dun. Who called me, by the way? Who is this number? Do I recognize it? Hmm. I don't know. Anyway, I need my charger. We're gonna keep this going. We're gonna have a lot more to do, a lot more like language learning tips and stuff. Let me just get my charger. It's upstairs. BRB, coming. Hang on. Just getting my laptop charger. Then we will continue this stream. 2 seconds. Okay, hang on. Coming back. Okay. Okay. I just realized my aunt's contact is not in my phone. That's funny. She just texted me. I just don't have her number in my phone. That's funny. All right, let's save her right now. Excuse me, that was disgusting. Save. There we go. Alrighty. So you said line by line. Rasmus says that popped into my mind the software I recently found, Sub to SRS, which for creating Anki cards from subtitles. Would that be extreme for using subtitles? Maybe. I don't know. Sure. I'm not sure. I've never heard of it, but chat, give it a try. I just realized I'm going on a live stream in 10 minutes or less than 10 minutes, and I look like a bum. Yeah, I should put on a hat at a minimum. Let me go find my hat. Hang on. I'm going to find my hat. 2 seconds. I'm coming back. I'm returning. Okay. I don't know where the heck my hat is, but this product in my hair will have to do. I can't. It's weird putting gel in your hair when there's no running water in the house. Alrighty. For me, listening to your podcast is a good way to improve my English comprehension. Cool. All right, I have a live stream starting in like 10 minutes here. Listen to that motorcycle. It's not a motorcycle. They're doing construction upstairs. Hola Luis, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? All right, in literally like 1 or 2 minutes. Ready when you are. I love that. Okay, let's do one more question as I wait for my Russian friend to be ready to do our live stream together. So, let's answer this question here. Trying to identify words when listening. Again, we talked about it. Pull up a video, turn on the subtitles, listen, read to understand, make sure you know the words, make sure you understand the grammar, then take off the subtitles, rewind, listen again, rewind, listen again, rewind, listen again, rewind, listen again, rewind, listen again. Like, for instance, like train your ears, right? Train your ears. All right. What else do we have? What else can we answer before my Russian friend is ready for our live stream? What does she teach? What does she do? Let's look. I don't really follow her. Let's see what she does. Let's see here. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I like her. I like her stuff. Anna, kind Russia. My page wrote me. Cool. All right, we have like 1 minute till we start. Starting this live stream. This is who we're doing a live stream with. I'll show you her profile. This is the person here. Let's play her story. Let's watch her stories together.
Do you know what we're gonna do with that? We're gonna boil it. I'm not kidding.
What's that noise? Whoa, 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 whoa. She put her phone, wait, check this out. Okay, watch this. She put her phone under a tap. Like, check this out.
I'm not kidding.
Look at this. Her phone is underwater. Whoa. That's crazy. So her profile is kind_Russia. Kind, okay, here we go. She said she's ready. Okay. She's starting a live stream. Let me, oh. I will, okay, here we go. When I see you go live. Okay, so she's starting. There we go, she started.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, fellows, folks, dudes, guys, friends, whatever. I'm very glad to hear all of you today because today on our usual Thursday call.
Oh, did my internet freeze or did she freeze?
He's an
Oh, she's
outstanding tutor from Canada. For our guest. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I am doing very, very well.
Great. How's the weather like in Canada?
It's fine. Weather is okay. It's today. It's not. I mean, for us, it's not that cold today. It's sunny. It's maybe, I don't know, maybe like 10, 12 degrees, something like that today.
Lucky you. We have 0 in St. Petersburg.
0. Well, we just had. I think it was last week. We just had. It would have been something like 15, 20 centimeters of snow, or 2 weeks ago.
I see. Okay, yes, the winter is coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Azren, could you please introduce yourself to our viewers and to tell about your language story?
Sure. So my name's Azren. Online, people find me as Polyglot Azren or Azren the Language Nerd. I speak many languages. So I speak English, I speak French, I speak Spanish very, very fluently. I speak Mandarin at an intermediate level. I speak my mother tongue, which is Gujarati. I can understand some Hindi, not a ton, but I can understand some Hindi. And on my list of languages to learn, I want to perfect my Gujarati, perfect my Mandarin, and also add on Russian and Arabic.
Okay, why did you enlarge your list by Russian and Arabic?
Sorry, one more time? I think you cut for a second.
Why did you decide to add Russian and Arabic in your list?
So when I was a teenager, I started to I was probably about 15, 16, 17, 18, something like that. I started to realize that I was interested in languages. And I thought to myself that, okay, maybe I should have a list of languages that I want to learn. At the time, I was like, okay, what languages are spoken? Like, what languages are common? So I thought about Spanish, which is spoken in many countries. Arabic is spoken in many countries. Russian is not spoken in that many countries, but there's a big chunk of the world, like it's a very big land mass that speaks the language. So the languages I chose, I was young at the time, I was younger at the time, but I chose them based on languages that I felt were, quote unquote, major languages or common languages in the world. So.
As far as I understood, you are not just a teacher, but you learn how to teach. Is this correct? No?
Yeah, so for work, I teach languages in my city, mostly locally, a little bit online, but mostly local. And yeah, I'll talk about on my social media, on my podcast, on my YouTube, on my Instagram, everything. I'll talk about both language learning tips, but also I'll share language teaching tips based on my own personal experience.
Yeah, and they're very interesting, and I really like to follow your blog on Instagram because you speak really about very smart things that
thank you.
are applicable not not only to the English language but also to Russian and basically to any language.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra, as I noticed, you have something like a lifelong learning plan. But because I noticed that you wrote in your blog that you are going to learn 8 languages before you're 45.
That's the initial goal. Yeah, 45 years old. It gives me another 19 years, basically. Another 19 years to add Russian, Arabic. Oh, well, Russian, Arabic, Hindi, actually, and then to perfect my Mandarin and Gujarati. So I feel like that's a good goal to work towards. Oh, did I lose you? Oh no. If you're talking, I can't hear you. Nor can I see you for that matter. I can't hear or see you anymore. Sad face. Is it my internet or is it? Comment wasn't. Oh. Oh. The live stream ended. What happened there? Did I get kicked out? Something happened. Wait.
I lost our guest, and I lost you guys.
There we
Sorry.
go. We're back.
Sorry again. Let's start from scratch because I lost my guest. Everybody saw my kitchen again, and yes, and then the connection got.
Okay, there we go.
We're connecting to our guest. Yeah, sorry. It's usual thing when everyone saw again my kitchen and then everything cut off.
No worries.
And we were talking about a lifelong plan. Do you think planning is important in learning languages?
Sure. Yeah, I think it's important. Important for some people. Other people maybe less important. Yeah, I think it depends. Depends on how you're planning. So for some people, yeah, like you should definitely have some kind of plan of I'm going to study a language this many times a week, these days a week. Here's what I'll do. Yeah, I think having a general plan is probably a good idea.
And what about weekly plans?
Sure.
Have you tried that?
Like, I think it depends on the person. Like, sometimes, yes, it can be good. It can be good for some people to be like, this week, I'll learn this. Next week, I'll learn this. Next week, I'll learn this. As long as you're open to adjusting the plan as you go, because things generally don't go as planned. Or they don't go exactly as planned.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you're okay with adjusting, I think you're okay.
Yeah, and when you are not, when you cannot accomplish your plans, some students tend to blame themselves for that, because sometimes the circumstances go the way that the homework maybe not done or something like that, or a lesson maybe missed, and there's like a little feel blame, yeah, and that's bad actually. That's this feel of blame may badly influence students' appreciation of the language learning.
Yeah, I think the blame is not good. It's not productive. It doesn't accomplish anything.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
It just doesn't accomplish anything. Like looking back, like you can't look back and change stuff. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's like I understand what happens, but it's not right.
Mm-hmm. So while I was reading your blog again, I noticed that wrote your 5-year I don't know work window of work as a manager on a cleaning company.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to ask you, when your like skeptical point of view on your job and your profession, when your passion finally won this fight with your skeptical view on your job and what you're going to do in your life.
I don't think I had a skeptical view, to be honest. I don't think so. And I don't think it really was a fight between having a window cleaning business and doing language stuff. Like I chose to do the window cleaning. I actually loved. I really liked it. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun for me. I learned a lot. It was great in many respects. And I don't think it was a scenario where I thought, okay, I'm gonna quit the job and go do languages. No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I still had work with the company. I still had actually a role with the company. It just that a lot of the work environment had changed and didn't feel right anymore. That was like one of the big reasons of it wasn't like a fight or anything like that, to be honest.
Ah, I see. Yeah, because for me it actually was because I worked for a very long time. I worked as a lawyer and I liked it a lot. But then at some moment I decided to give my lifelong hobby, teaching hobby, to give it a chance.
Cool.
And yeah, that's actually is a huge step in my life. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And of course, that's pretty scary, pretty difficult. But anyway, I enjoy what I'm doing now, and yeah, that brings me a lot of pleasure.
That's awesome.
Azren, I think everybody wants to learn about some tips, some cool things and tricks that you teach languages. Could you outline some main and basic ones?
Sure. So I think the biggest thing is being consistent, doing regular practice. It's not a very exciting trick by any means, but being consistent and doing regular practice is a very good idea. And when I say regular, it should be, in an ideal world, you should do a little bit every single day, 7 days a week, ideally. I understand people are busy. I understand some people maybe don't enjoy that. I understand. But in an ideal world, yeah, a little bit every single day of the week is important, is a good idea. I think as well, I would say a lot of people get stuck in the trap of doing a lot of casual practice, but no intentional practice. What I mean by that is a lot of people will go through language learning apps. They'll scroll through Instagram and watch some videos about learning English or learning whatever language, learning Russian, learning this, learning that, which is really good. That's fantastic. They should. But they should also do things that really push their brain, like that really make their brain work. Not just, oh, I learned a new word in Russian. Oh, that's cool. You should also be doing things that really push your brain. That when you're finished, you're like, whoa, I'm tired. Whoa, it's like I worked my brain out. There's a lot I could do. I could literally give 2 hours worth of tips like this. But there's a couple things I think are important. Oh, you're frozen. Oh no. There we go. You're back. No, you're not.
Sure.
If you're talking, I can't hear you. You are frozen.
No, I'm waiting for you because you froze for a moment.
Okay, you're back.
Connection, where are you?
Yeah. I think you're good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see you. I hear you.
Yay.
Yeah.
Good.
I stopped hearing you at the point when you completed talking about your first point that you should like work hard and feel like your brain works really, really hard.
Perfect. That's the last thing I said. So.
Yeah, and how to get that amount of motivation that could lead you to such hard work?
For sure. On the motivation side, I think there's a couple things. Number one, it helps if the way you are studying the language is enjoyable. So, for example, like I would never learn a language. I mean, I would probably not learn a language by buying a teach yourself program, for example. That's probably not something that I would do. Not a lot of it, just not doesn't seem interesting to me. But I would, for example, take a class with 15 other people because I'm quite competitive. And I know I'll get competitive with other people in the class, and that's going to be more enjoyable. So I think picking a strategy that is enjoyable for you, that you go, yeah, I could probably do that. So whether it's, some people learn by traveling abroad, they want to travel. Some people learn by taking classes. Some people learn by getting online programs. Some people learn by watching TV and looking up all the words they don't know by reading the subtitles. There's a million ways, but I think that's one. And the second thing is to actually go around and avoid the whole thing of motivation and put yourself in a scenario where there's not as too much choice, where you have to learn. So a good example of that right now is I am learning Mandarin. And I found myself not practicing as, even me, I love languages. My name is Azren, the language nerd. Like, I love it. Even me, I'd be like, I don't want to do Mandarin today. And so I was like, you know what I should do? I should do a major and actually try to get a degree in Chinese from a university, because then I definitely will have to study, because I'm not going to fail my classes. I'm not going to have, like in university, if you get bad marks, they kick you out. They say, oh, your marks are too low, you're gone. I don't want to get kicked out. That's embarrassing. So I'm doing that right now. I'm taking 2 classes this semester, and it's not even like, screw motivation. It doesn't matter motivation. Now I'm stuck. I have no choice. Like, I've paid the money for the year. I'm either going to waste the money, get kicked. Like, there's no choice. So that can also be a good option.
Yeah, you're like pushing yourself out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, there's no more choice. You have to learn now.
Yes. I thought that you would say something like, I decided to, I don't know, buy an apartment in China or something like that.
You could do it too. That's expensive, but you could. Now, it's interesting you bring that up. Traveling abroad, sometimes people think that traveling abroad is a good way to force yourself. For many people, though, that doesn't work because they're introverted. So I met someone that would have been 5 years ago in my city. He was from South America, and he was here when I met him. He had been here for, I think, 4, 5, 6 months, something like that already. But he didn't practice. All he did is sat as an apartment. He couldn't find a job, didn't have friends. He just sat and played video games. So he was in Canada, in an English country, but he didn't leave his apartment. He just kind of stayed inside, left sometimes. And so the thought process of going to a country and forcing yourself doesn't necessarily always work. Not for everyone.
Yeah, true. And while teaching Russian, I always try to understand what people like, what's their sphere of interest, what their core of interest. So that's why on my lessons we sing Russian hip hop and rap. We watch movies and so on and so forth, because we read articles on different political issues. And because I think we should reveal the person and to know our students better, to know what's the core of their interests, and only this way the learning process may be productive.
Totally.
Because in Russian schools there was nothing like that when I was at school in Russia, because everything was so obligatory, no choice, and nobody cared about what you like, what you don't. You just have to learn, and English lessons were overloaded with grammar rules, grammar practice and no speaking at all. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to avoid all these things and to build my teaching practice in a very different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's totally. I mean, that's one of the biggest. I live in Canada. A lot of people go through what's called French immersion schools in my city. That means that you did your education in mostly French and not English. And so often that's the thing. Like a lot of people don't enjoy that process too much because it's for all the reasons you just said, right? Totally.
Yeah. Azren, what I wanted to say, to ask, vocabulary or grammar, what side are you?
For me personally, I am someone who tends to learn either both at the same time. Like I'll learn some grammar and vocabulary simultaneously, or I'll learn grammar and then I learn vocabulary to use with that grammar. So a good analogy is like imagine grammar is a cup, grammar is like a glass, vocabulary is the water that goes in the glass. That's me personally. I don't think that's necessarily the right or wrong way. That's just what I do. I think there's a very fair argument to do vocabulary first and to be doing grammar in the back half. I think there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not me. It's just not what I do.
So actually, for every student's approach may be different.
Yeah, for sure. In that respect, yes. I think, and just in my personal experience, from what I've seen, people who tend to do vocabulary, who put a heavier focus on vocabulary, have a tendency of being able to communicate what they want to say, but they do make grammar mistakes when they speak, and they don't sound quote unquote native. Versus people who do a lot of grammar first and don't do a lot of vocabulary, might have the structural knowledge of how to say different things, but they don't have the vocabulary to say the things that they want to say. So myself, that usually is my biggest problem. I would know grammatically how to say something, but I don't know the words to put the sentence together. And that tends to be something I get stuck with for a little while. I always resolve it. It ends up getting resolved when all is said and done. After the years of me studying, I figured it out. But I think it's just whichever approach you choose, there's just different types of roadblocks and different types of challenges you have along the way. But at the end of the day, you can still end up in the same kind of fluent place, no matter what you do in that respect anyway.
Sure. How do you learn grammar? Do you learn the rule and then make exercises, or you have some like extraordinary way?
Nothing fancy. I think there's a couple things. So for me, for some grammar points, I'll learn the rules of how it works. I'll be like, oh, this is how it works. Cool. Let me do some practice. Let me first learn the rule. Let me second see some example sentences of how you would apply that rule. Third, let me do my own example sentences and have them corrected so that I know if they're right or wrong, get that feedback. And then fourth, practice using them in real, spontaneous, real life situations. So with if I'm speaking with a native speaker, if I am talking with my teacher, whatever it is, usually that tends to be kind of what I do. I know that there are certain grammar points that I pick up what I would call by osmosis. What I mean by that is often there will be certain grammar points that no one really taught me, but I was watching a video, I was listening to some podcasts, I was reading something, and I just noticed that, oh, someone said this sentence in this way. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. And then I remember it. I've learned it that way as well. But definitely for me personally, I have no issue with someone explaining the rules, me practicing and figuring that out. I don't see any issue with that for me personally.
I see. How can you say learning languages influenced your life?
I think it makes traveling easier. I've always traveled. Like ever since I think my first flight, I was not even 1 year old. I was probably less than one when I went on my first flight. So I've always been traveling to different places, and it's always helped that I've spoken, not always, but often I've spoken the language of where I'm going to. And so that helps with communication. It helps you to not be scammed, because when you come from a country like Canada, often the countries I go to, they are countries where the currency is not worth as much as ours. And so there are scams and there are people that want to either steal your money in some respects, or either just charge you too much for things. But when you have an element of the language, it helps you understand. It helps you, I guess, integrate in the culture a little bit more, and it mitigates some of that. You are frozen. There we go. You're back. Yeah, and it helps avoid some of that. I would say it's also just helped because I've been able to meet people in different countries and really get to know them because I speak their language. I think I have, let's say, a certain amount of cultural understanding how other cultures work on a level that maybe other people don't. So an example, what can be an example? Like an example I could give you would be, here's a practical one. In India, it's very common for people to show up late. Okay, very common.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, showing up late is generally considered very disrespectful. In India, not quite at the same level of disrespect. So, because I speak Gujarati, which is language from India, I've spent about 2-3 months in Gujarat, living there and spending time there and meeting with people and having friends. And because I've lived it and I understand, the punctuality is not valued. They don't place the same value on punctuality in India as they do in Canada. When I meet an Indian person and they say, hey, yeah, I'll be there at about 1 o'clock. Oh, I got kicked off. What happened? The live stream ended. Oh. What? Oh man, I was in such a good round. I was on a good roll there. What the heck happened? Man. I think your internet's having some issues. There we go. Back.
I'm sorry, guys. The internet is so cruel to me today.
Okay. Okay, we're back.
The internet is so cruel today.
Not a problem. So I was talking about India, right? How I understand that the punctuality is not valued the same way. I have personal experience with it. So if I meet an Indian person, whether it's in my own country, in India, whatever, and they say, oh, I'll be there at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and they're an hour late, I've already mentally prepared and I understand that they don't necessarily mean anything negative by it. Does that make sense, right? That's like, that's an example of it. And there's hundreds of examples of that, right? So it allows you to not, I guess, have some more understanding of how someone from a different cultural background might operate in comparison to how I might operate or how someone in my city might operate.
Yeah, I'm always trying to maintain my English, and I'm trying to explore Western culture because, it's so very different from Russian. Very different, really. And on my blog, we had a debate about is the word guys, hi guys, is correct when you address to the mixed community of people, men and women, because the word guys tend to be more male one. So there were actually a very large debates on that, and this but Russian analog of this word contains both men and women. So it's for both. And in the English culture, that's caused some questions, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think if there was a group of people that had mixed genders, I might say guys. I definitely have said it before without even thinking. If it was all girls, I probably said it, but I probably shouldn't say it. Like if it was all girls, I might not. But if it was mixed, I probably would say guys.
Dictionary is on my side. Macmillan Dictionary says that this word is used to address to a group of people, and the dictionary doesn't say male or female. But today, the culture changes, and that's why the culture raises different questions, and like wants to rewatch previous models of behavior.
Totally.
Another example of language difficulties.
Yeah, totally. I agree. Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
Did you find a lot of friends thanks to knowing a lot of languages?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think when I've traveled abroad, for sure, it's allowed me to meet other people and make other friends. I think in my own city as well. Like I live in a city where we have quite a few people from different parts of the world. And in my city, I host a lot of events, like conversation events for people learning English. Well, really any language, but primarily English, French, and Spanish. And so there will be many native Spanish speakers, native French speakers, people from different parts of the world with languages that I speak, Mandarin speakers. And so for sure, it allows me to communicate with them in a way where maybe I couldn't if I didn't speak their language. Yeah, so I would say it has. The one little caveat, the one little additional thing I would say is at the same time, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that I wouldn't have I think I would still have a lot of friends even if I didn't necessarily speak the languages that I speak, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And did you notice that the attitude of people to you changes that when they understand the language? They become probably more friendly when more open to you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. That's 100% when you speak their language. Totally, absolutely. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And I think in some places more than others. So, for example, it would happen more. So, for example, if I go to Quebec, which is a province on the east side of Canada, it is a francophone province. So it's the one province in Canada that is French speaking. We have another one that is bilingual, but at any rate, let's call it the primary province that is French speaking. When I go there, my French is very fluent. I don't have their accent. I don't have their accent in French. I speak more of a French dialect. But when I go and they'll say, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'll say, "Oh, I'm from Calgary. I'm from the west side of Canada." And almost 100% of the time, they will say, "Wait, they speak French out there?" And I'll say, "Oh no, not everybody, but some people learn." And immediately the amount of respect goes up of, "Oh wow, you're in the English part of Canada and you chose to learn French," and definitely it helps. I think in other countries, maybe not as much. So if I go to India, for example, obviously I look Indian, like with my skin color and everything, and I speak Gujarati, and maybe it's not, it's not obviously as strong as someone who's born and raised and lives in India. Maybe not to the same level. Then they'll be like, "Oh, let's speak in English." If they speak English, right? It's not the same level of, "Oh, you speak Gujarati, you speak, wow, good for," then it's not the same level anymore. So I think it depends, but generally, yes.
Yeah, it's when you learn another country, another culture, you show respect, I would say. And that's pleasant to people. That's very nice.
There are some languages though where I haven't had the personal experience, but I've heard this from other people. There are certain languages where if you learn them, yes, you are, there is a certain amount of respect, extra respect given to you. But some languages is more like there's a reaction of, why are you learning our language? Like they don't understand why we're learning. So a good example would be something like, I was talking to someone who's learning, it wasn't Gaelic, it would have been, I think it was Dutch, if I remember correctly. like Dutch people, generally speaking, speak English very well. Or like, no, Swedish. It was Swedish. It was Swedish. I met someone who's learning Swedish, and when they went to Sweden, like people would be like, "Why are you learning Swedish? We speak English like perfectly. Like, what do you like? What? Like, no, that's funny. Like, you don't need to speak Swedish. We speak it like." And then you have to explain that, oh, I'm learning Swedish because I like languages. I want to do this. Then they're like, oh, interesting. Oh, wow. You know? But if you go, I think so. I think it depends around the expectations of that language. Like the expectation around something like Swedish is, why would anyone learn it? Or like Gaelic, why would anyone learn it? We speak English, like everyone speaks it. Why would you learn it? But if you go to China, you know, the expectation would be like, hopefully I can speak English and the Chinese person understands. So if you speak Mandarin, they're like, oh, not English? Oh, wow, cool. Oh, this is, wow, good for you. This is, it because it's a different culture or expectation around the language.
Yeah, absolutely sure. Guys, our viewers, if you have any questions to Azren, you're very, very welcome to ask anything you want about languages, learning languages, because Azren is a perfect person to answer this. Okay. Azren, tell me about your living in Canada. I mean, in linguistic aspect, because you speak 2 or 3 languages in Canada.
So, yeah, we have 2 official languages. I know I'm not looking at you. I gotta plug my phone in. I'm just plugging it in. So I'm gonna multitask, but it's just it's on less than 15%, so I need to plug it in. Yeah, so we have 2 official languages, English and French. That being said, almost all of Canada does not speak French on a regular basis. Like in my province, for example, we do not, you're not going to hear a lot of French in the streets. You're not going to, you might see French like on cereal boxes or on when you're buying stuff, like you'll see French. But again, it's not like, oops, I dropped my charger. It's not like, if you can't be like, oh, I'm going to walk in a store and speak French. No. Like that's not going to work for you because people don't speak it everywhere. So basically we have one bilingual province, which is, we have one bilingual province. Then we have Quebec, which is like a francophone province. So yeah, official language-wise we have 2, but generally speaking, people speak English. We are a multicultural country, meaning we have people from many different places in the world. So it is easy enough to find communities. If you're from a different country, it's easy enough, depending on what city you're in, but generally easy enough to find communities within your own city with people from the country you're from. So you want a Russian community, we have Russians here. You want to find the Afghani community, we have one. Indian community, very big. Like we have micro communities inside the major cities from different countries. So actually, go ahead.
Those communities interact with each other if they do?
As in, like, how do the different communities interact?
Yes, actually, how the communities interact with each other if they do?
I mean, they do because we're all in the same city, and like when you go to work, for example, you're probably working with people from all over. Like, they're very friendly. They're very friendly conversations, generally speaking. I mean, when you go on the bus, like, or go to work, like everyone's from everywhere, generally speaking. Yeah, like I mean, it's not even. It's just so normal. Just so normal to just walk around and be like, oh, he's Chinese. Oh, he's Indian. Oh, he's Canadian, like born and raised in Calgary. Oh, he's I don't know what country. Oh, he's it's just so normal. So.
The last year I was in England. It was so unusual to me when in Oxford I saw people of I don't know how much nationalities, and everyone were like, that's fine. And for me, as for a woman from
Russia, where it's not like that's common. It's sort of like, oh my God, that's many people. How could they all gather together? Because I thought that there was like a representative from each country of the world.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's all, and for me, like it's all I've known. I've grown up with it, right? Like it's just it's such a normal part of being in my city, and I mean, even in Canada, it's such a normal part of it that it's just sort of how it is. And obviously, there's some racism. Yes, there's some issues. Yes, it's not a perfect system, but yeah, like at least in my city, in my personal experience, I mean, in 2018, like for example, I've never really faced a ton of racism for having brown colored skin. Like I've not really faced it. I've had friends that are from China, from this place, from that place. I will say this, often, because of how multicultural it is, there are certain people that basically associate mostly with people from whatever country they're from. So, for example, trying to think of an example, like there's a guy that I know right now. He's Korean. He's been here for not that long, but not like, I don't know, a few years, less than 5 years, but a couple years. And all of his friends are Korean. So his English is okay. It's quite strong overall, but like he's very Korean. Like his laptop's in Korean, his phone's in Korean, his friends are Korean. He goes to Korean restaurants. He's very Korean living in Calgary. So there are people like that who stay within their own communities, but there's also a lot of people who, mix with everyone.
And when did you move to Canada, or you was born in Canada?
Born and raised in Canada. Yeah, born and raised.
I see. Yeah. Probably you have not that strong connections with India. Like your friends who came here in this generation.
I do, but in a different way. So my family history is interesting. We are from India. So let's back up. My dad's side of the family, the roots are Indian, but they're all from Fiji. So Fiji's like these tiny islands way out by Australia? Past Australia, I believe. Yes, past Australia. Like way, like it's tiny, like tiny. Is that right? Australia? Yes, that's right. So they're from there. So even though the roots are Indian, everyone's from Fiji, and they will say they are Fijian. That's what they'll say. We're from Fiji. My mom's side, roots are Indian, but they were for about 80, approximately 70 or 80 years. They were in Uganda, in Africa. Now, we don't say we're African. On my mom's side, we don't say we're African. But so the reality is that we have not no one in my family has lived in India for many years. My family has studied in India. They've been to school in India. They have we do have some family in India. So we do have ties to India, but it's not like they were born and raised and lived there. So my connection to India is through the fact that I speak an Indian language. I am interested in my own culture and everything. I've gone to India 3 times now. Most recently this year, I spent 2 months in India. So I feel that connection. Obviously, I'm learning the language that my family speaks and everything. So I do feel a connection to it, but not because I lived there for my whole life or anything like that.
And what's your next destination? Where would you like to go?
Looks like probably China. Looks like China's going to be it.
China.
It's not set in stone, but I might be studying there for a bit.
Okay, and when you put Russia on your list?
It's along in the future, probably when I'm 35 or something. 35, 38. It's quite far in the future.
It's amazing that you make friends for such a long period.
I don't think it's really a plan. It's more like, I don't think it's a plan. I just know I have a good guess of how long it will take me to learn the languages that I'm trying to learn. I know where Russian is on my list of languages. So my prediction is that it would probably be in my mid to late 30s when I would go. Like, it's just, I first will learn Gujarati, then I'm going to learn Mandarin, then I'll learn Hindi. Those are the next 3 that are kind of on the list. And after that will be either Russian or Arabic. I don't know which one. So, I wouldn't be shocked if I was 35, 33, 38, 40. Like, that wouldn't shock me, right?
So, okay. Thank you very much for this talk.
Not a problem.
I really appreciate it. You are like a very interesting person. And thank all of you guys who watched us today. And I'll tell you in Russian. Пока-пока. That means goodbye.
Cool.
Could you say that?
Wait, say it again.
Пока.
One more time.
Пока. Пока-пока.
Пока-пока. There we go.
Да, супер. Отлично. Пока-пока.
Пока-пока. There we go.
Пока.
All right, that's done. I should follow her back. All right, I follow her now. All right. That's done. Beauty. Okay. Okay. Let's finish this there. I've been going for 2 hours or so. Whoopsies. What time is it? 1:16 in the afternoon. All right. Let me open my calendar here. I don't even know. Okay, let's see. I got to do some other work now. I just don't know what I've on my list. Alrighty, let's move this. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, it's gonna get a little quiet for a second here. Give me one moment. Okay, that's done. Okay. Well, let's wrap this live stream up here. It's been a couple hours. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your attention. Hope this was useful for you guys. I think it was. Yeah, we'll chat later. Bye for now. See ya.